Okay, good morning, everybody. We're starting to see some people show up. I think maybe there might be a glitch in the Zoom system this morning. I did get an email back from some folks and it says that they're on, but the video will start as soon as we start the video. But anyhow, we're going to get going, and I am recording this, so I will make a recording of this available to everyone, so you can go back and review it. And those who do miss the meeting will be able to take advantage of this. So welcome to Craig Proctor Coaching. It's going to be an exciting year. It was definitely a change in my life and in my real estate career and my real estate brokerage. I started with Craig in Toronto in the year 2001. And really, I was 30 years into the real estate business at that time, and really kind of had to pretty much reinvent myself. I pretty much redid everything that I'd learned and done for the last 30 years, and did a frontal lobotomy, threw all that out, and started pumping new stuff in, totally new ideas. Not easy necessarily, and you know, when you've been in the business for a while and you've got your ways set and whatever, sometimes it's a little hard to adapt to new things. But I just went all in. I guess the main reason, you know, having been in the business for a long time, I was very much doing everything that everybody else did, and pretty much entrenched on everything that everybody else did. And I just had been to a lot of speakers, a lot of gurus, seen a lot of people, bought a lot of tapes and books and everything else, but I'd never run into one who was actually in the real estate business and actually doing it. I was fortunate enough to be into Craig Proctor early enough where I actually got to go to the mothership. I actually got to go see his operation live in living color, met everybody on his team, interviewed everybody, got to figure out exactly what the model was. And basically when I was there, I just kind of made a blueprint. I just took pages of notes and made a blueprint of what Craig was doing, and then I simply copied it. And when I did that, everything started to come together. I was probably the biggest screw up in coaching that they ever had. First 6 months, I got nothing done right. But then when I went back to the next conference, I felt better because I wasn't the only one not getting anything done right. But I had everything started and nothing in place. Other than the only thing I did get started and get done well was tracking. I had never tracked why I was doing business. I just knew that my door came open. I knew people were doing business with me. I was making money. Had no idea why. When I started applying Craig Proctor tracking using the 800 numbers and different URLs for computers, I was able to determine why people were doing business with me, where they were coming from, what marketing dollars were working, what marketing dollars were not working. And then once I got that figured out, I quit doing the stuff that wasn't working and just took that money and threw it at the stuff that was working. And I literally, the first year in coaching, I doubled my business. I went from about $500,000. I was doing about $500,000 GCI when I started with Craig. And at the end of the first year with Craig, I was right at $1 million GCI. And that was strictly as a result of quit wasting money on things that wasn't working and repositioning those dollars and pointing them at things that I found out were working. So that's one of the things we'll cover. And so as we go along, I've got everybody unmuted right now, and everybody's wonderfully quiet in the background. So sometimes we get some noise. Like my dog might bark, so we'll mute if we have to. But I'm just buying a little time here. We got people coming on, so people are running a little late. Hey, Scott.
How are you, Lester?
Good. You came further to this conference than I think anybody in North America. You're from Massachusetts.
I am.
Are you back home in Massachusetts?
I am. I got back Monday late night.
Long trip across, huh? And plus a 3-hour time change makes it tough to recover.
Yesterday was a little rough, but that's all right.
A little sluggish, yeah. Well, thank you for coming that far, and I hope you obviously enjoyed the conference. Signed up for coaching. I was looking at your area a little bit, guys. I haven't gotten to everybody yet. I've been looking for your coaching profile, your business profile. Some of you got them done, some of you do not have it yet. Please work on those. But I do try to go into everybody's area, everybody's market, and take a look around and kind of get familiar with your marketplace. Scott, I did look at your market, and it looks like you're probably got about an average selling price somewhere around $500,000-600,000.
Maybe in my personal
Okay,
sales
go ahead, Bud.
around
Hurry
300.
up. No.
Okay, you were saying?
I said my personal sales and my team is probably just in the low 300s. So I don't know. That sounds a little high for my area, but
I saw it. I was scrolling through, and I saw a lot of $500,000-600,000 properties on the market.
maybe we're just not selling them.
Well, you know,
I don't discriminate though.
I determined one thing about real estate. You know, the ways you give yourself a pay raise, you do more transactions, you charge a higher commission, or you move your price range up.
Right.
And I really like. The first thing I did was I did more transactions, and then I thought, man, if I'm doing 500 transactions a year, that's a lot of work. Why don't I just do one big one for like $150 million of first
Right.
and call it
I'm
easy.
waiting on that one too.
So, all right, we're gonna get going. I'm gonna share my screen here, and we'll go through this. And if we're going along and you have any questions, go ahead, jump in and let me know if you have anything to. I did mute somebody. I forget who it was.
There you go.
So if you are muted, you might want to check and unmute yourself. You do have that option, okay? All right, so welcome to Craig Proctor. This is kind of an informational program and also a to-do list. Please take lots of notes while we're going through this, okay? Because I'm going to be looking for stuff back from you. Hopefully everybody's been checking their email, and you saw you got a whole bunch of stuff from me, I think, on Monday, maybe late Monday, early Tuesday. So if you're not, I need to know that because I did get quite a few bounces on emails and even on text messages. Okay, number one thing, Craig Proctor, continue to do the things that are making you money while we put systems in place and learn the Craig Proctor system. Do not stop what's making you money. So if you're selling real estate and you're doing deals, don't stop what you're doing. We'll learn about that and we'll try to proctorize it. We'll try to make that part of what we're going to do, but we'll put systems in place. You know, a big thing about Craig Proctor, a lot of people think it's a lead generation coaching company, and it really isn't. Used to be kind of lead generation because you couldn't get leads any other way other than generate your own. So, but now it's a whole lot more than that. A little bit about me. I've lived in Arizona a long time. I've served in the Air Force for 4 years, began my real estate career in 1971, and I'm now in my 49th year of real estate. I've completed, 6,500, 7,000 transactions, about $2 billion in volume. I started for coaching for Craig in 2007. I've coached the first Rookie of the Year winner. I've coached a lot of Quantum Leap winners, a lot of rookies. I've coached Brett Sarin. I think he got the Rookie of the Year award at the Super Conference over the weekend. And I coached Brett, and I still coach Brett. I was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award from CP Coaching, and they've only given one out to date. That was about 1.5 years ago. I built my team based on the Craig Proctor model, and I ended up I was doing 300 to 500 plus transactions a year and doing it pretty easily. Hang on just a second. Got an email from one of our members here. Oh. Yes.
Okay, so this goes on to
Okay, let's go to zoom.us. Just go to http zoom.us. Okay. And then click on join a meeting, and then put the ID code in that I gave you, 862-905-685.
Did you emails yesterday or on Monday?
I've sent it out numerous times, you guys. So And it's part of that link that I gave you right there. So 862-905-685.
I know there's a thing that I have to fill out, but
It's like on your website. That's what the webinar was like an opening and how to do it.
Thank you. Okay, guys, we got some folks that are just, hold on. Man, this Zoom is not working today.
I think the last email you sent out had a different link to it.
Yeah, it'll all come into this one spot. Hold on just a second. There we got somebody came in. Ted? Okay. So anyhow, I built my team as I've said, based on the Craig Proctor model, having visited Craig Proctor's office and seen the real thing work. I turned over control and ownership of my team to a young man named Brett Johnson, who's been with me since he was in an intern, and he interned with me when he was in Arizona State University. He's never been anywhere else but with me. My transaction coordinator and my right hand gal, Becky Trujillo, has been with me for 20 years, and she's still working with Brett. And when I do real estate as a matter of referral and things like that, I do it under Brett's name. I do it with Brett, my partner, and Becky managing the transaction. That said, consults. Okay, we're going to be doing consults. This is a consult. This particular meeting right here is just like a consult. Okay, after each consult, after each webinar, after everything you do in Craig Proctor. So if you tune in to a helpline webinar on Monday morning, or a role play webinar on Thursday, or a ad clinic webinar on Friday, or a Craig Proctor coaching meeting every other week. Whenever you've had one of these meetings, you're going to take a lot of notes, right? And what I want you to do is type up your notes after our consult, after each one of those meetings, type up those notes and email them to me. I can guarantee you your participation like this, and you're taking copious notes and being a great student is going to accelerate you in this program beyond virtually anybody else. I probably am the only coach who has people do this. Where I know that you're on these webinars. I've got one guy in California, Daniel Bringhurst. Daniel, I get notes from him virtually every day of the week. He's probably my best one for taking notes. It is, and Daniel, by the way, has been in coaching for about, I think, 3 or 4 months now. And he, well, I know at the meeting, he had at least 5 or 6 transactions in process right then. He's signing up VIP buyers at an unbelievable rate, lead generation, and just, I mean, he emails me and texts me all the time. He says, this is just incredibly easy. I can't believe, but he's a great student. Be a great student. You guys spent $9 grand or 10 grand or $12,000 on a program. Take full advantage of it. Don't let anything slip crack. Plan to attend as many live events as you can over the years. It's absolutely determined that the live events, the people who attend live events, the ones that accelerate in the program. When I was at my peak in my business, and because of my involvement in live events and being at the live events, meeting people, passing out business cards, having lunch with people I didn't know from around the country, I was doing 25 to 30, maybe 35 closings every year from referrals just from Craig Proctor members. So people like yourselves that I met at the conference, you have somebody moving to Phoenix, I was getting referrals that were equaling, you know, on average, probably 150 to 200,000, maybe $250,000 in GCI, in commission income to me, based on just on referrals. I mean, a lot of people would love to do 25 transactions a year. I was doing that from referrals alone from Craig Proctor members. Just because I went to conferences and I met people and I got involved and I stayed in touch with people. It's a huge resource for you. It's an absolute way where you can find out that coaching is totally free. I told Craig one time before I became a coach, I said, there's no way I could quit. It would cost me $150,000 to quit coaching. So there's no way I would ever quit. Myths. A lot of people get into coaching. It's like somebody threw the life ring to them. The myth is that coaching is a magical pill. That all of a sudden I've signed up for coaching, I wrote a check for 10 grand and everything's going to be okay. Not true. It is hard freaking work. It's the hardest work I ever did. It is the absolute hardest thing I ever did in my entire real estate career. Much harder than basic training in the Air Force. Much harder than anything else. It took great dedication, a huge mind shift, and absolute determination, beating my head on a wall sometimes. It's the hardest work I ever did. But also the returns after it took me about 2 years, guys, 2 years of absolute nose to the grindstone hard work. But the millions of dollars that I made as a result of it is unbelievable. I couldn't believe the amount of money I made from real estate after Craig Proctor. I mean, I was doing well before Craig Proctor. But when I first went to Toronto and met at my very first super conference, and I'm meeting people. Remember, this is back in 2001. I'm meeting guys that are making $1, $2, and $3 million a year. Craig's doing $3.5 million a year. Back in 2001 dollars. Okay, I had no clue that anybody in real estate could make $1 million a year. I had no clue. Didn't think it never even crossed my mind. Okay. Another myth, your coach is a technology genius. Wrong. I am not a technology genius. I'm not bad on a computer, but technology, for example, I use all Apple products. I don't know PCs worth a darn, but technology is readily available. There's really easy ways to find technology. If you are having technology challenges, you need to go to your local community college, your local high school, talk to the computer science professor or the dean of computer sciences. Find yourself a geek. You want to find a young geek going to school who would run circles around me on a computer, and they'll do things so quick and they'll work for 10, 12, 15 bucks an hour. They're just looking to fill in a little bit of time, a little bit of wage. Plus they have fun doing it. They love doing it. Okay, biggest mind shift. The biggest thing that happened to me with Craig Proctor was, I don't know if I don't remember looking up to see if he had these banners up. Did anybody see the banners? Anybody see this?
No.
Can't change the outcome, delegated. That's a Craig Proctor banner that was at the very first super conference, and I've never, ever, ever, ever forgotten it. When I started with Craig Proctor, I was hands-on. Everything, I was a micromanager. Everything that left my desk had my thumbprint on it. Not one thing that happened in my business didn't have me involved in it some way, shape, or form. And I got that message. If you can't change the outcome, delegate it. Man, you want to sit back and you want to think. What you really want to do the high activities that are rainmaker activities, things that you can actually change the outcome on. Those things. Number one, making effective callback. Number two, going on presentations and appointments. I mean, you can change the outcome on that. You can change the outcome on the marketing. But you can't change the outcome on putting a listing in MLS. You can't change the outcome. First of all, you can't change the outcome on taking pictures of your listing. You need to hire a professional anyhow. I can't believe how many real estate agents take frickin' pictures of toilets and put them in MLS and think it's going to help sell a house. I mean, the photos I see in MLS are just tragic.
Terrible.
You can't change. You can only improve the outcome on that by hiring a professional. But make sure that you're taking a look at what you're doing every day, and make sure that you're doing the money-making activities that are most important. Now I know everybody wants to start there, and I didn't start there. I mean, I didn't instantly come back and delegate everything because I didn't have anybody to delegate it to. But probably the first thing I did was hire Becky, my assistant, and Becky didn't even know what I was hiring her to do, and nor did I. But we learned it together, and I'm still there. And she's probably got more knowledge than virtually any real estate agent that I know right now, because she's She's literally transacted and handled thousands of transactions for me over the years. So it's a really good statement. Remember this one. If you can't change the outcome, delegate it. Write that down. Start thinking about that as a huge mindset. On tracking, make sure all your tracking is set up. Make sure that you know exactly what your return on everything you're spending. If you are an individual agent, you want to apply at least the 3 times return on investment formula. Every dollar you spend has to come back with $3.
Lester, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Can you ask Vicky to mute? We can hear you when she's typing.
Loud. It's pretty loud.
Hold on. Vicky, I'm going to mute you. Okay.
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 Thank you.
Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Oh, I thought I was going to mute you, Vicky, but evidently I didn't. All right, hang on. Vicky, can you mute yourself?
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Sorry about that, guys.
Okay. All right. So make sure that you track every dime you spend. Okay. Again, if you're an individual, 3 times ROI is great. If you're a team and you're paying splits to another agent, I really want 4 times ROI. I can't tell you how many times I hear people say, yeah, you know, I spent $1,000 on this, but you know, I got $1,000 back in commission. Well, that's breaking even, and we're not in business to break even. We're in business to actually make money, and breaking even isn't going to work. So make sure that we are in, you're in the mode of making money and keeping track of everything you spent. I could have told you every day how many leads I was getting from every source, what the cost of each lead was, and what our conversion was. Okay, you're going to have to get that good at it. I had at one time when we were doing a lot of internet advertising, we were doing a lot of work on driving people to the websites. I had as many as 400 different URLs. I'm certainly not suggesting you become a URL monster like I did, because I was spending $4,000 and $5,000 a year just on URLs. You don't need that anymore. Very little of what I'm going to show you to do is going to drive traffic to your website. Most of it, we're going to use the 800 numbers, which are totally included in your coaching costs. Accountability every Monday morning or Sunday evening. Every Monday morning or Sunday evening, I'll be sending you out a form. I don't care if this is all zeros. I don't care what the number is. I want to know how many new leads you got. I don't care how you got them. I don't care where they came from. I want to know how many new leads you got. I want to know, and the reason I say I don't care where they came from, because a lot of people say, well, they're not Craig Proctor leads. Well, Craig Proctor, again, is not a lead manufacturing coaching program. It's a systems program. So we'll get into where your leads are coming from when we break it down to tracking. But on the report, what I want to know is how many new leads you got, how many dials, how many times you picked up the phone and dialed the phone number trying to talk to somebody on the phone. I want to know how many conversations resulted from those dials. I want to know how many appointments were booked, how many appointments actually showed up and were held during that week, the number of contracts signed to a VIP buyer or listing, the number of new escrows, the number of closings, and then I'd like to have a running total on your GCI. So a running total of what your income is year to date, okay? And I want to get that from you every Monday morning. You cannot believe this is going to fall into the Universal Business Autopsy. I think Craig probably mentioned it a little bit at the super conference, but this is going to fall into that, and it's going to help me and help you autopsy your business, figure out what we can do to increase. For example, if you're getting 0 leads, I'm pretty sure you're not making too many dials because you don't have many people to call. And resulting from that is no conversations, and you're not going to have any appointments. And guess what? There's not going to be any closings. There's not going to be any money. So the first thing we got to fix is the number of leads. If you're getting lots of leads, but you're not calling them, guess what? We're not going to have any of the rest below. So it's just like a chain. Any link that breaks results in diminished results for closings. Keep a calendar. Keep your calendar up to date on coaching calls. You're going to want to make sure that you're on your coaching call with Craig Proctor every couple of weeks. You'll have a call with me from time to time. You'll have your webinars, the helpline every Monday morning, the role play call every Thursday morning, ad clinic every Friday morning. Pretty cool because these calls are at 9 o'clock in the morning for us right now when we go on daylight savings time. In Pacific, you're at 8 o'clock in the morning on Pacific coast. Scott, you're of course Eastern time, so you're 11. But in Arizona, for example, we're at 9 o'clock. These calls are at 9 o'clock for us. And then when we go on daylight savings time, since we don't move our clocks, we become the same as Pacific time. So you really kind of get to start your day. It's really easy. And for Scott, it's just early lunch. So you're doing these, during lunch hour. And also, by the way, guys, and I'll go over this with you, the time to make calls to people and get them on the phone is not 11 o'clock to noon anyhow. So this isn't going to interfere with you making phone calls and getting prospects on the phone. The absolute most successful Craig's Proctor students are those who attend these webinar calls and participate. The big call that you got to start getting on right away. And on your coaching website, there's a library. You can go back and you can listen to calls for quite some time ago. And that's the role play calls with James McDonald. Do that with James. He's really good on it. Craig cuts off from time to time. Craig's not bad. I'm joking. He's the best I've ever heard. So, all right. Time blocking. Make sure you block time every day to work on your business. When you're doing your volume breakdown analysis, which I sent out to you, but also you can do it online. When you're doing your volume breakdown analysis, to start with, try to figure about 25% of the time you're working on your business. I'm sorry, 25% is on your business, and 75% in your business. So use those numbers on your volume breakdown analysis. If you're having any time management issues, I suggest you read Dan Kennedy's book, No BS Time Management. I think probably everybody on this call probably has some time management issues. Haven't met too many realtors who have that dialed in yet. Download and install. Make sure you have a Google account because I'll be sending you lots of stuff from Google Drive. Make sure your business profile is updated on the CP website. And it's a good idea to visit that in January and update that, okay? Let's keep that updated. Keep your information updated on the coaching website. If you change a phone number, email address, or whatever, makes it really hard to get a hold of you, complete your 1-hour business plan, which is also on your coaching website. And I know that the 1-hour business plan is going to take about 10 to 12 hours to do. I already confronted Craig and said, Craig, why the hell did you name this a 1-hour business plan when it takes 10 hours? He said, if I'd have named it the 10-hour business plan, nobody'd open the book. which is absolutely true. Go to your disc. Under your website, you have the ability to do the disc evaluation. I know you did that, but you did it quickly and you didn't do the whole thing, okay, at the super conference. So do the entire disc. It's going to automatically grade it, and you can take that, make a PDF copy of it, and send that to me, okay? Other things I'd like to know. How many deals have you done in the past year? How many of them were buyers? How many of them were sellers? Where did they come from? Where did your last 5 or 6 or 7 transactions come from? I'd like a list of the top 4 or 5 things that you want to work on in your business right now. And I may agree with you. I may shift it. I may change it a little bit. When we get to know each other, we may make some changes. By the way, I'm not the coach that believes one size fits all. I truly believe real estate in Massachusetts today is probably different than Arizona, but whatever's happening in one place will happen in the other. And it really helps me to keep tuned in by working with people all over the country as to trends that I spot in one area, and I can spot a trend someplace else that hasn't happened here or hasn't happened in California or Oregon or someplace, and prepare my members for what's coming. The REO days were incredible. I mean, one of my coaching members, literally, I have made him millions and millions and millions of dollars by getting him prepared for the REO wave in North Carolina. When Arizona went into the tank, Florida was in the tank, California was going in the tank, lots of REOs. North Carolina was great. They didn't even know what REO stood for. And I got my guy ready for it and got him positioned with asset managers and everything else. And literally, he has made millions and millions of dollars from REO by being there first. Your website, your success website, read your website. Play like you are the customer, fill out page by page and see what happens, okay? One of the things that I watch success do is when you fill out information on a form, they like to then have another pop-up page that basically asks you the questions on the universal callback script. I think they probably do that as a result of over the years, they find out that a lot of people don't bother to call their leads. If you're not going to bother to call your leads, you got the wrong coach, because I am a terrorist on making sure people follow up on their leads or quit wasting your frickin' money on advertising. Why run ads and get leads that you're not going to call? And I know people don't like to pick up the phone and work the phones and call the leads. But guys, the very last thing that Craig Proctor himself gave up, the very last thing he quit doing was calling leads, because it was the most profitable. It is the most profitable thing you will do in your business once you generate the lead, is getting the people on the phone. There is nothing that doesn't fix. What type of database are you using? I'd like to know what you're using for a database. If you don't have one, I'm really fond of success websites. You may take a look at theirs. It's new, but I also like a company called Wise Agent. They're based here in Metro Phoenix area of Fountain Hills, but a guy named Brandon Wise owns that. It is really robust. It is really an outstanding website. It's dirt cheap and it's standalone. So no matter where you go, you'll be able to take your website. Referrals and SOI. As I've gone through a lot of the profiles that people have sent me and asking where deals came from, I'm seeing, of course, a lot of referrals and a lot of repeat business, family and friends and things like that. I'm seeing a lot of that as where your business is coming from. Well, guess what? No surprise. When you look at NAR statistics and you delve into what their studies are, 60 to 65% of all real estate transactions in North America come as a result of referral or repeat business. So that being said, I don't want to try to change the entire world. Let's make sure we work on referrals and SOI and get the absolute maximum out of it. An ideal real estate business to me is one that's running 60 to 65% repeat business and referral, and the balance of it 35 to 40% being new business. When we have 35% new business, all that new business, if you're doing 100 transactions, you have 35 new, those 35 next year transfer over to that group of people, that 65% of the people who can send me referrals. So I'm really big on working on referrals, but also as a blend with creating new business. So I think I sent this out to everybody as well. It's the Ultimate Memory Jogger. Michael Mayer is a good friend of mine. He grew up in Kansas City. I grew up in Kansas City. And he put together this list of helping you know all the people that could be on your list. So you have that. You're going to go to work on your database. It is a daunting task. If you have not done it before, I suggest you get on it. You do that. It's going to take you a couple weeks of working on it, an hour or two a day. So it's a big task. But once you get it done, it's done forever. You just continue to add to it. Lead generation strategies. We're going to work with everybody. I'm going to work with everybody to try to get at least 4 or 5, 6 different lead generation sources to where your leads are coming in from various sources all the time. So for example, right now, a lot of people hang their hat on Facebook. 77% of all real estate agents are doing something on Facebook. But Facebook has a habit, as you guys know, of changing the rules from time to time. All of a sudden, they kick the brick out from underneath you, and you down because nobody can figure out Facebook again, or it takes 2 weeks. You can't allow that. I remember Craigslist back 10 years ago. Craigslist was so hot, everybody was doing Craigslist. Guess what? Craigslist changed all the rules. I don't know why. I guess they just didn't like everybody making money, but they changed all the rules. All of a sudden, everything you were doing on Craigslist, no good anymore. I mean, I had a virtual assistant who was literally doing posting 50 to 75 times a day on Craigslist.
Good job.
Standbys. Postcards are awesome. Postcards are awesome. But most agents mail once, don't get the result they want. And so that's it. We're all done. Postcards take about 7 or 8 mailings before they start having the impact. For sale by owners and expireds, for sale by owners is a way to get free business. If you're low on funds and you want free business, I can coach you through how to do for sale by owners. Classified ads, it's going to be hard to find a classified written section in a newspaper anymore, but display ads can easily be run, and also editorial ads. Editorial ads, guys, are one of the top places to get business. They do take time. It does take nurturing. It does take fun. One of my coaching members, Paula Tasowski, she's also one of our coaches, and she's up in a suburb west of Toronto. And in 2016, I remember Paula ran a campaign of $2,400 she spent on editorial ads. And I forget how many weeks it ran, but anyhow, $2,400. She got 108 leads from that campaign. So spent $2,400, got 108 leads. To date, right now to date, Paula has $140,000 in gross commission income from that $2,400 ad spend. And if I got Paula on the telephone, she would tell you right up front that she sucked at follow-up in the beginning and probably missed out on $75,000. So her $2,400 investment identified and had their hands raised up of people who represented about $215,000, and that's just to date. Still more of them come up. A great follow-up system, you put that in place, you write it and you launch it, and you put your great follow-up system in place, and it's gonna pay off forever. Follow-up is probably the Achilles heel of most real estate agents, and believe me, that's where the gold is. Every 100 online leads that you get is going to represent about 3 closings for now business, but it's going to represent about 40 or 50 closings future business. So we'll do Facebook. We'll look at magazines. Signage is huge. This is an old set of our signs where we had the open house every day, call for times on the top, and I had the 24-hour free recorded info on the bottom. Those worked so well that I ended up taking them off my signpost and had 18 by 24 bootleg signs made with just those messages alone, which we would stick in the yard next to the building. I'll go over that with you as well down the road. This is a Facebook ad that is using editorial content to get seller on the lead ad during Facebook. You're not going to get a lot of leads from things like this, but the leads you will get will be much higher quality than leads where people are asking for a free list of homes under some ridiculous amount, and you get a whole bunch of leads, and the people, they didn't even burn a calorie clicking on the mouse to get the free list, and they really weren't looking for a home. I don't know anybody who goes to Facebook to look for a new home. Photos. Take pictures of your yard signs, send them to me. Take pictures of newspapers. I'd like to see the front, the classified section, the opening editorial content. So if you turn to page, let's see, 4 and 5, to where I could see a spread of the newspaper, give me an idea of whether or not it's a good paper for editorial ads. By the way, editorial ad should go in papers that are published weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, not daily. It's not good for daily. Get all the information on all the publications in your area with rate sheets. It's called a media kit, and you might be able to use a service called newspapers.com. You can probably get a free trial with newspapers.com for 7 or 8 days. That's enough time to figure out all your papers. I'd like to know how many listings you have and find out what is allowed as far as like bootleg signs. If you're in a subdivision where bootleg, like if we do a conference in Florida, we get a lot of people in Florida. Florida is full of gated communities. Not so bad in California, not so bad in Arizona. I don't know about Massachusetts, Scott, but Florida is, I mean, so much is gated, and the homeowners associations down there are so restrictive that sometimes you can't use the bootleg, so you're going to try to do the sign writers. Marketing stats, I need to know what your stats are in your market. I'd like your snapshot of what your market is. Send me an email along with these notes, a little bit about your market. What's your average selling price? What's the volume? What's your volume? What's the volume? How many agents are in your marketplace? Kind of just give me an overall snapshot of your market. Now, in a couple days, they're going to turn on your access to the reality program, and that's going to be super, super helpful to you. Please do their tutorials and learn that reality program, because that's how we're going to figure out where to mail to any mailing campaign.
Don't tell them on the video.
I'd like to see your goals. So what your top 3 goals are for the coming year. I think that may be part of your coaching profile, but I'd like to see that in your notes that you send me today. The volume breakdown analysis I sent to you, by the way, that's also file 1878 in your coaching website. That has an Excel web page, and it makes it super easy to fill out and easy. It does most of the math for you. So I want to see that. And then we're going to reverse engineer those to determine how many leads we need to get to fulfill your goals. Learn the coach. I can't stress this enough. The Craig Proctor coaching website that you have right now is invaluable. It is worth millions of dollars. As you progress in the program and you move up to platinum, it's worth millions and millions more. I have access to all of it. So if there's something that you're looking for that you can't find, I may be able to find it in the advanced websites. But anyhow, I want you to spend 30 to 45 minutes a day. Just go to your website and start with the file libraries, start with the webinar libraries, listen to some of the old webinars, read the files, think about, you can do a search like if you put in for sale by owner, FSBO, you're going to come up with all kinds of files with ideas on for sale by owner, on expireds, on everything you can think of. The content is robust. Most every question you're going to ask me can be answered in the file library or in the coaching website. Let's see, download and modify your VIP buyer presentation. You're going to put it on a laptop. You're going to practice, practice, practice. When I say you want to get Oscar winning good on this, it's really, really for sure, for real. What you should be able to do is you should be able to turn your back on the monitor and push the mouse button, changing the screen, and know exactly what you need to say for everything that's on that screen when you click the mouse. Okay? That's how well you need to know it. You need to know your lines just like an Oscar-winning actor or actress. Same thing with the listing presentation, to where your customer's looking at that, you're looking at them, and you're able to speak to every slide that pops up on the screen. Memorize the universal callback script. This is absolutely mandatory. You please don't do what I did. Please don't wait 6 months to do this. I got back to my second super conference and I didn't know the script. I could read it, but anybody could read it. Hell, I could have my 10-year-old niece read the damn thing. I had to learn it. I had to memorize it. I had to be able to deliver it. The first step is memorization. The next step is internalize it. And the next step is living it. Right now, I have nothing else to say to somebody who calls looking for property. I got nothing else to do. I mean, are you planning on making a move? I mean, I got nothing else. I can't remember all the old crap I used to say. The script. Somebody was ringing.
Yeah, that's mine. I'm gonna shut it off.
Okay, so I cannot stress enough, memorize the universal callback script. Memorize it first, okay? I know when I went to my second conference, I didn't know it, and I found out that Craig Proctor actually called coaching members out of the audience on the day that it's a little bit different now, but he would call people out and have them role play with him. And gosh, I didn't know it. And I didn't want to be the moron that was standing up there trying to babble on about the script and not know it. So I stayed up in my room that night and the night before, and I memorized that script, and I just did it over and over and over again until I could say it without looking at the paper. And of course, the light bulb on my forehead that says he didn't do his homework went off, and he didn't call on me. But I did learn the script, and when I got back home and I was working on calling my leads, the result and the outcome of me making phone calls was 10 times better than what it was before, because I knew the script and people knew I wasn't reading something. Universal Business Autopsy. This is the business autopsy. This I was traveling with with Craig back in Toronto and Montreal. We were going around doing events, and Craig came up with the idea of doing this, and it's probably, I don't know, maybe the most valuable piece he ever wrote, or maybe the second most. It's certainly the top 3. This allows you to autopsy your business each and every day yourself. So number 1, how many leads are you getting? Okay, if you're not getting enough leads, you go over to marketing and you start going down there and start working on that. So anyhow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When you get to 8, guess what? You got closings, you got checks to put in the bank. When you get all 8 steps working like clockwork, all you got to do is rinse and repeat, keep going and going and going, doing this over and over again. And once we get going fast enough, if you like, we'll help start building a team. If you want to stay a solo agent, that's okay too. We'll figure out how to use technology instead of people to advance how many transactions you can do. That's another version of it right there. It's just a flow chart as opposed to the one that I like. I like the other one. So again, you're going to lead generate. We're going to put 5 systems in strategies in place. You're going to do dials. You're going to master the universal callback script. You're going to concoct a huge WIFM as to why people should come meet with you. You're going to learn to do an Oscar-winning presentation for buyers and sellers. And then you're going to get the home sold or find the right home for the buyer. Your USP, you want to start thinking about your USP. USP is pretty much just apart from everybody else. I had one of my agents the other day send me, what did she send me? She sent, one of my agents down in Florida, he sent me a postcard that he had done before Craig Proctor. In fact, another vendor did it for him. And he had like 2,000 of these in inventory. Well, of course, it cost you 20 cents a piece to mail them every door direct. And so he's asking me, what should I do? And I had to tell him, I think I'd just throw them in the trash, because you didn't say one thing on your postcard that I couldn't walk into your market today and say the exact same thing. And there's no difference between you and me. I could say the exact same thing you got on your postcard. Does not set you apart from anybody. USPs help do that. The big USP, of course, is your home sold guaranteed, or I'll buy it for cash. If you're in a high-end luxury market, you may want to make that your home sold at 100% of your asking price, or I'll pay you the difference, because people with $2 and $3 million homes may not believe that you have $2 or $3 million in cash to buy it. Might be true. I do like the buyer USP, and you know, we had a great idea. We had a little breakout while I was there with some of my coaching members, and one of my coaching members had a fabulous idea. And I'm sharing that with you right now. So, but you're going to have buy your next home for me, and if you're ever not happy, I'll buy it back or sell it for free. Now, I know a lot of people start that off with 12 months. I started this in 2004, this exact USP. I may have been the first one with it. And nobody called me back in 12 months. So I made it 18 months. Nobody called me back. I made it 24 months. Still nobody ever called me back. So I just took the time limit off altogether. I don't care now. Buy your next home for me. If you're ever not happy, I'll buy it back or sell it for free. Okay, catch. You got to buy your next home for me. If you don't buy your next home for me, deal's off. If you buy your next home for me, you're not happy, I'll buy this one back or sell it for free. So let's say you're doing a universal callback script and you're talking to a prospect. This was a great idea one of my members had. So you get down to the end. Are you working with a realtor? And the guy says, yeah, I am. Well, you know, if you buy your next home from me, and if you're ever not happy, I'll buy it back or sell it for free. Are you sure you wouldn't entertain working with me if I can find you the right home? So disarming. What a great idea. Great idea. I mean, that's a pearl right there. Bless you, whoever that was. All right, homework every call. I want to know I want to know how your business is going. Leads, number of leads you've spoken to, appointments made, number of buyer and seller agreement, number of contracts written, number of closings. I also want you to type up the notes of our call and email them to me the same day. I want you to email them to me with CC, carbon copy, to Anna, A-N-A, at craigproctor.com. Anna is my coaching coordinator. Anna is one of my right hands. She's the one who helps me immensely on all calls. Okay, every Monday morning again, you're going to send me that sheet that I'm going to send you. We've got to keep score. I got to know where you're stumbling at, if you are at all. And if you're not, we're going to celebrate every victory. These are some accountability forums that you can use. I'll be sending some stuff out to you that you can use. If you can prepare for our coaching call by simply keeping notes, sending me an idea the day before our call of what it is you want to cover, it really, really helps us get to the things that are most important to you. Don't hesitate to email questions between calls to me. If you don't get a response within 24 hours, email me again and call my cell phone to let me know of your email. It probably went into one of the stupid filters that I've got on my email because I'm getting 1,000 emails a day and I got to be able to filter it somehow or other. But unfortunately, it's trapping some of the good stuff. So also, if there's a deadline emergency, something that is pressing, an emergency for you, pick up your phone and call me. You don't have to wait for our next consult. It's okay to call. That's my email address, lestercox@gmail. Number one thing, do not run your money without me approving the ad. Don't spend a dime without me looking at it. I have made all the mistakes I think that you can make. So try to learn from my mistakes, the money that I've wasted on running ads with a hotline in it before I set up the hotline, or putting the wrong URL in, or whatever I've done, stupid stuff that I've done, wasting tons of money. My goal is to keep you from doing that. Okay, so I coach a little bit different than most. As you guys all know, and maybe you don't if you don't know, I am semi-retired from real estate. I don't do it every day. I don't go to an office every day. I do work with my man, Brett, every week a little bit on the phone, and occasionally we get together and meet. But for the most part, I am working on coaching. I'm working on helping you. I am Catherine Proctor's coaching manager. I work directly with Catherine as well. I do a lot of troubleshooting in the program. I'm also the new business development director for Craig Proctor. So if a new vendor will get into Craig Proctor and have us endorse their product, they go through me, which keeps me kind of ahead of the curve of who, new products that are out there, which we'll try from time to time. And if they work, I'll bring them to you. Let's see. So in between calls, in between scheduled calls, don't hesitate. Don't worry about picking up the phone and calling me if you have an emergency, texting me, emailing me. It's okay. I don't mind. The other coaches are all running real estate businesses, so they really have a 30-minute window to talk to you on a scheduled call, and that's about what they got. They do a lot of group calls. I don't do many group calls like this. Most of my calls will be personal, one-on-one, and they're kind of off the radar. They're kind of a call where I'm driving down the road going someplace and one of my members calls me. I answer the phone. I have each and every one of you guys' names and phone numbers already built into my cell phone. I know when it's you calling. So don't hesitate to let me help you. That said, let's go to work and let's have some fun and let's explode the hell out of your business, okay? So any comments?
Hey, Lester.
Yes.
I apparently clicked on the wrong link and was sitting and waiting for like 20, 30 minutes waiting for the call to start. So I noticed you're recording.
This is recorded and I will be sending it out to everybody.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
The same thing with Daniel and Irene too. We missed the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know why there were two different links that went out. One link went to one meeting, one went to another. From now on, when I do these, I'm just going to give you the ID code and have you go to zoom.us and not use a link from Zoom because they changed the doggone links.
Yeah, that's what happened. The link changed.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Lester. We're on our way to a listing appointment right now.
Go get it. Go get the list.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else?
Can anyone?
Questions, comments, ideas?
Ready to get started.
Everybody's good? Terrence, you ready to go, buddy?
Yes, sir. Just ready to get started. Absolutely.
Okay, let's start. Okay, step one, guys. Step one, universal callback script. Okay, first step, everybody learn the script. Internalize it. Where it just flows. Okay.
Bring around my laminated copy already.
All right,
Nice.
now, I want you to learn, okay? But and I know you're going to tweak it, and you're going to have a word different here and there. For example, I might say, "Are you planning to make a new move in the next little while?" You might say, "Are you planning to make a move in 2 to 3 months? Are you planning to make a move in 3 to 6 months?" Everything's okay. All right. Now, I'm going to give you real quick a little shot on the buyer offer, the buyer offer. And you'll find this in my coaching member materials that I have already sent you. The buyer offer. We changed our buyer offer years ago because of the advent of the online real estate sites where it's just like you're searching MLS. So instead of saying, "Would you like me to email you daily updates of all the homes that match your criteria? My list will include this, that, and the other, and everything else." We changed that because people were easy to say, "Well, you're already giving that to me," because I had a realty generator websites like Commissions Inc., Boomtown, or Tiger, or Conversion, or whatever. It's one of those types of sites. I had that site. I was a 10th user in the United States of having that site. So people would say, "I don't need you to email me daily." So they didn't need to meet with me because they're already getting what they want, right? So I had to change my offer and make it a little bit more compelling. So what I made the offer was I would use your name because I want to snap your attention back to what I'm about to say. I really got to get your attention. So I'm going to say, "Hey, Scott, if I know exactly the type of home you're looking for, that is the area of town, price range, and other amenities, I can set up my custom computers to alert you instantly whenever a property comes on the market that's an exact match for your need." Would that be helpful?
Yes.
Absolutely. There's no way for a real buyer to say no to that. And then I would just simply say, "Great, I just need to get together with you for 20 or 30 minutes so I can take down your criteria. At the same time, I'm going to publish a complete list of every property that's currently on the market. And then, time permitting, what we'll do is we'll jump in the car and we'll go take a look at your top 2 or 3 off that list. What's best for you, mornings or afternoons?" Now, the reason I say mornings or afternoons, because I just said we're going to jump in the car and go take a look. Now, the reason I said we're gonna jump in the car and go take a look is because my offer then is to not just get you a free list, which everybody knows they can go to Zillow and get. So if my buddy says, "Let's go have a beer this afternoon," and I got an appointment with Lester, screw Lester, I'm gonna go have a beer with my buddy. I can get he's one of 40 meetings. I can get another agent, and I'll go have a beer with my friends, and I'll look at Zillow tonight and see what's out there. So, but their appointment wasn't just for a free list. Their appointment's to go look at houses. Bigger appointment. So the no-show rate goes way down when you make that offer. Now, we all know also that you can't show a lot of properties without an appointment. So you're really not usually going out and showing properties unless it's vacant homes. But even if you did get out and show properties, it's great because you get their motor started, you get them running on the idea of going out and looking at homes. It's really active. If you can get them proactive on getting in the car and going out looking at property right then, awesome. That's awesome. But the other thing is you're going to get them signed up to the VIP buyer agreement, get them a list, train them on how they're to get in the car, drive by, take a look at homes, and do this on their own. Now, I'm going to get each of you somehow or other, I'm going to get a copy of this for you. This is something that we did years ago. And this is like the rules of engagement, okay? So we would sign a person up to the VIP buyer agreement, and then I would give them this little card that basically gives them the do's and don'ts, what to do if you see an open house, new construction, flyers, newspapers, magazine ads, what to do if you see anything there that you want, and you put your name and your phone, your direct number there, instructions on driving by properties. So I'm going to send you a list of homes all the time. You're going to drive by them, and you're going to let me know anything you want to see. Any particular property you actually want to see yourself, okay? Make sense? And then this thing folds up and fits in their wallet, and we would give them 2 of them, one for their visor, one for their wallet, for each person in the meeting. Okay, I'll get those to you as well. Questions?
Esther, yeah.
Yes.
At what time do you pre-qualify them? You know, because when you say, "Let's go see some property,"
Great question.
you have to make sure they pre-qualify first.
Great question. Great question. Okay, so right now you're brand new in coaching. Okay, you need practice on presentations. So I don't want you pre-qualifying anybody on the phones. Okay, bring them in. Guy says, "Oh man, I filed bankruptcy this morning. I gotta talk to my lawyer. Come on in. Come on in. Because I need practice. So come on in. I know you can't buy a house, but come on in." So, but let's just say the exception. Okay, so let's say I bring somebody into the office. So here's the setup. They come into my office. My secretary or somebody puts them in a conference room. Okay, so they come in. I do my buyer presentation. I get them agreeing to my terms and everything else. They sign my VIP buyer agreement. They're now my customer. I take down their criteria and I excuse myself to go run the list. So I'm going out of the conference room and I'm going to go run the list. But before I do that, I have my lender standing by. He's either at my office and he comes in to do a pre-qual, or I put him on the phone. By the time I get done running the list, have the pre-qual done. It takes them 10 minutes to tell me whether they can buy or not buy, and what they can afford, and so on, based on the information they supply. Most people are pretty good about giving them real information and good factual stuff, and the little hiccups that we find that they didn't disclose, we can usually work out. But so yes, we are pre-qualifying before we get in the car, but we're not pre-qualifying before we bring them in for the meeting. Just use that time that you go out of the conference room to run the list, to hook them up with your lender. So I could be at my desk running the list for them, and I get a text message from my lender saying they're good to go. They can go up to $350,000. They should be no problem. They've got the down payment, finance at this, interest rate will be this. So he's giving me the lowdown. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. Yep.
Other questions? Everybody's good. Okay, well, guys, congratulations on making a move to coaching. It's going to be a fun ride. We're going to have a good time. I'll tell you what, my goal is absolutely to explode your business, help you explode your business, help you get just some of what I got out of it. If you got everything I got, I'm really going to be over the top. But even if you just got half of what I got, my gosh, the change in my world, the change in my life was just incredible. The results were incredible. But I tell you what, I worked damn hard at this. I mean, I literally worked 15, 16 hours a day for the first month and a half, 2 months, 3 months. And I was working every day, not taking a day off. But what I was doing is I was working, doing all the stuff I did before, and then I added Craig Proctor to the mix. Okay. All right.
Hey, Lester, can I ask you one question? Sorry.
Yes, absolutely.
So on your slides, you had certain things that you wanted us to send you, but a lot of that was in the profile.
Yes.
So I did that last night.
Yes.
So if it's duplicate information.
I go through that because a lot of people so far, I've got a lot of people who haven't done their profiles. When did you do yours?
Last night at like midnight, I completed it once and then it didn't save it. I had to do it again.
I was going through these at 9 o'clock last night and yours wasn't done.
Yeah. It's there.
I know that. And I know we're quick. I mean, I wanted to get this going early. I wanted to get this going fast. A lot of times I've waited till Friday after that conference ends to do this call, but I really didn't want to wait that long. I wanted to get those extra days, and I knew today was a down day for you. You didn't have other calls scheduled. Tomorrow you've got a role play call. Friday you've got an ad play call. So makes sense. Yeah, but the things that I've asked for, just put them in your notes that you're sending me today. I know it's a little repetitious, but it won't be bad. And that way I have them in one spot. Okay. Anything else? Logan, you're in charge of your dad, right?
Yeah, I guess so for this.
So you writing the notes or Steve writing them?
I took notes.
I'm doing them as we're talking. And when you hang up, I'm going to send the send button.
Great. Awesome. All right. Anything else? Anybody need anything right now? You got a lot of stuff on your plate. Go ahead, Scott. I know you're ready to tell me something.
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. Let's rock it, guys. holler at me if you need anything. Please CC Anna at craigproctor.com on all your notes so that she gets them as well. And reach out to me. Let me know if there's anything at all that I can do for you, anything you need. Melissa has done that several times already, and trust me, I love it. I love it. Okay. The more you're engaged, the more I love it. So I look forward to talking to each of you individually. Anna will be setting up calls with you. But in the meantime, if something comes up, you need me, pick up the phone, call me, text me, email me. Okay.
Thank you, Lester.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Soon.
See you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.